Yes, we are Shout Marketing, presenting our campaign for the LOU Barksdale Boys and Girls Club of Oxford. My name is Janie Polton. I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and I was the graphic designer for our campaign.
Puffer Thompson from Fairhope, Alabama, and I was the copywriter.
I'm Michael Mott. I'm from Chicago, and I was the market researcher and PR person.
I'm George Young. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, and I was the social media coordinator.
What we know about LOU Barksdale Boys and Girls Club of Oxford. You all have served over 2,000 local youth. You have over 3.1 GPA overall and 100% high school graduation rate with 0 teen pregnancies. And we know that you all are interested in getting better all the time.
So I'll talk about the SWOT analysis, which is comprised of the internal strengths and weaknesses we identified within your organization, as well as some of the external opportunities and threats. So to start with strengths, you guys obviously have a nationally renowned curriculum and a very positive perception of your brand and organization overall. And as Janie just mentioned, you have a lot of strong statistics that are very marketable and reassuring of why your brand and organization is one to be trusted. As far as weaknesses, you definitely have a facility that you've used for many years, especially in Oxford. A lot of kids have been through your program and in your building, as well as no tangible avenue for communication between yourself and businesses, as well as no real advertisements of your relationships with these businesses. As far as opportunities, definitely partnerships with local businesses, especially here in Oxford for your Oxford club, and just publicity from said partnerships and advertising opportunities that comes from establishing these partnerships with businesses in Oxford. And then some threats for your business, organization, businesses refusing to get involved with Oxford. Obviously, not every single business in Oxford will be willing to cooperate and work with you guys. And then members ages 16 plus, some of the older members outgrowing the program before high school graduation.
So the target market, this is who we want Boys and Girls Club to be associating with, and the idea is to gather as much support as possible, whether it be financial or through random donations of supplies and that nature. So some small local businesses, these are some of the businesses that I went out and personally surveyed myself, and it's like a range of restaurants and the service industry, hotels. I went to Bank of Oxford and Express Computer Services, random small businesses, and some of the local branches of national sponsors. A lot of these are already listed on the bgca.net list of national partnerships, and that included Ross, Michaels, Belk. Buffalo Wild Wings was a really big one. They were really adamant about supporting Boys and Girls Club, but what we found out...
Our slides are not on the screen, and I just noticed. I'm so sorry. We've had a technical difficulty, but I can share that to the screen now. So far, you all should have seen our opening slide where we said hello, all of our photos with our hometowns and our roles, what we know about you all, our SWOT, and now our target market has just been covered, but you all are up to speed on the slides now. Sorry about the lack of visualization.
But yes, the target market was these are just businesses in Oxford, and the idea is to gather as much support as possible, right? So these were a couple of the key questions that I asked in the survey. So the majority are definitely aware of Boys and Girls Club, and an even higher, overwhelming majority are interested in learning more about Boys and Girls Club. And this was this question was to gather insight on some ways, if they chose to support Boys and Girls Club, they would like to know where they would want their funds to be going towards. Just like you invest money in something, you want to know what it's going towards. So a lot of them said, we want to know what kind of programs are going on and what kind of programs they're investing in. Technology was another one, and infrastructure, meaning paint or carpeting, whatever kind of needs need to be done at the LEU clubhouse. So why small businesses and not big business? When you think of Oxford, a small southern town associated with a lot of family values, you want to go small business in this route. So partnerships with local sponsors can be strengthened. And Oxford being a small town, you think of the square, the Midtown Shopping Center, where BBB and Jinsei, that whole area. These are places where events in Oxford are happening the most. You think about Double Decker, Square Jam, just general shopping on the square, Christmas lights. This is where it's all happening. It's not happening at the end of Jackson Avenue where, Buffalo Wild Wings, Home Depot, Belk, Ross, Marshalls, all these big national sponsors. No one's going out there. People associate Oxford closer physically to where the Boys and Girls Club is located. So you want to go small business in this route and contact them. And I found this out during my research. Like, online surveys didn't pan out like we thought they would, so we kind of took it upon ourselves to go out and talk to these people. So the small businesses were a lot more enthusiastic overall than bigger businesses. They said, you got to go through corporate if we want to talk to y'all. So
after sending out a survey through the census, the business census, and getting no replies electronically, Cover actually went to 25 brick and mortar stores and interviewed them in person with our survey printed out. So we got this from the mouth.
That brings us to our S&P, our single-minded proposition. To reiterate what William and Mr. Motz previously said, our target audience is local business. We believe it's an untapped well here in Oxford that you all at BGC could capitalize on. And our single-minded proposition is we are a helping hands business, supporting the Lou Barksdale Boys and Girls Club of Oxford. The goal is to gain new local sponsors, as well as to inform people or businesses in the community of the programs that you all offer. As Puffer stated, we sent out surveys, but not only that, we went and talked to local business owners around Oxford and got their personal opinions about Boys and Girls Club. Most, if not all of them, had a positive view of Boys and Girls Club. They knew that you all have a stigma as being a club where broken homes or, mismanaged, or kids go where they don't have a caretaker to watch them after they get out of school. And they don't think that that's all you have to offer. They think that by supporting you that they could put back into their community, and that's important to them. Specifically, we talked to a business owner of Bottle Tree Bakery, Cynthia Gerlach. She basically stated that how she feels BGC should approach gaining new sponsors and supporters is by maybe going to a business or a location with an administrator and then getting the permission of a role model student or attendee from BGC to accompany them and explain to them firsthand what they get from the program and how it benefits them. And she thinks that in doing that, local business owners or retailers or wherever would feel more obligated to support in any way that they can, not just monetary, but say buying snacks or volunteering or putting on a fundraiser or et cetera. So our main goal was to not make it seem like there was an exorbitant amount of financial support that was needed. More so just any way that you can is much appreciated. And by doing that, you benefit you and you benefit us. So the solution was Helping Hands. It's a new membership club that we thought BGC should take into account. It has 4 types of membership, and though there are dollar signs and it's a monetary amount, it doesn't necessarily have to be a financial donation. It could be $200 or $200 to $450 worth of snacks, or school supplies or book bags or something like that. And we have different levels, general membership with a base rate of $200 or donation or anything equivalent to that. And in return, you get free admission to BGC sponsored events, and you get a decal to put in front of your window or store or wherever you like to show your community that you're giving back and that you're supporting it and supporting your local BGC club. We have a silver membership with a $500 donation, which gets you general membership plus a sponsorship listing on event posts. And then the gold membership, it has general and silver membership included with a banner that you can put outside of your building, something that catches people's attention as they walk by and they notice, oh, they're supporting, a just worthy cause in the community. And then we have a platinum membership that gets you all of those, plus the banner, and you also are able to have those donations that you gave to BGC as a tax deductible.
So some advertisements supporting the campaign that we mocked up to run is a sponsored event flyer for your annual cookout that we know you all have a great turnout for, except this flyer features a space where you can include the logos of the sponsors that you've gained. And we think this is a great way for you all to be mutually benefiting each other with publicity. And then also a mock-up print ad for a local magazine, such as Invitation Oxford, which has a longer shelf life than a flyer would. I've seen these magazines sit on coffee tables in condos in Oxford for years, and whenever you open one up, whether you have extra time on your hands or for whatever reason, you flip through, and if you saw this advertisement, it would still be relevant, no matter how many years have passed or months or just days. We also came up with some direct mail pieces. One is an infographic explaining the levels and benefits of the membership program for businesses. The other is a direct mail letter inviting them to get involved and reach out and ask questions. Our social media posts, we took the advertisements that we made for print and in real life, and we made them also for social media and on an online platform. So for Instagram and Twitter, we ran the event flyer, and then on Facebook, we ran the print ad.
So I'll talk about the budget. As you see here, how the funds were allocated is on the right side, and we decided to put most of our emphasis as a group on paid media, as you see with the bulk of the advertising budget being spent on print advertising, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter ads that Janie just spoke about, press releases and our direct mail pieces, the infographic included, of course, and then various flyers and brochures such as the cookout graphic that she showed, which would incorporate the logos of the Helping Hands businesses. Like I said, most of it the budget would be just to simply get this advertising out of relating to the SWOT analysis and just get the message and promote the relationship between the Boys and Girls Club and the local businesses through these mediums that you see here, through print and online advertising.
So, kind of to wrap it up in a way, these are the results that we will predict will happen through our campaign. So for businesses, this means them choosing to partake in the Helping Hands, and it will project a positive image for customers. So if they have the decal on the window, if they have the banner hanging outside saying, we're a Helping Hands business, we support the Boys and Girls Club, the LEU Barksdale Clubhouse of Oxford. It projects a positive image, so they're giving, but they're also getting at the same time when they partake in this. And patrons will see the Helping Hands, and they walk in with their kids and their families, and they're like, oh wow, like this business is all about these good family values that we love in Oxford. And families with their kids might see this, and they could be encouraged to bring them by the Boys and Girls Club after they find out more about programs and whatever's being offered at the Boys and Girls Club at the time.
And for Boys and Girls Club of Oxford, we believe that it will put the Boys and Girls Club into the community in ways that are outside of the clubhouse itself. We think that partnering with local businesses will provide positive publicity for both the businesses and the clubhouse here in Oxford. It also will help spread awareness of what the Boys and Girls Club does and why people want to be involved with this organization. It says that the community believes in this organization. So that
The bottom line is just raising support for the LAU clubhouse.
by any
and
means necessary.
Yes, it can be financial, which is ideal, but I think when businesses know what they're putting in, if they choose the platinum membership and the helping hands, if they know they're giving $2,000 a year and it's going to a technological program, computers say, and then you can kind of be transparent with them what kind of stuff they're doing on the computers, learning about Microsoft Word or graphic design, what have you. So being transparent and raising support in general is most ideal with our campaign.
Our campaign actually supports the campaign that follows us. It has outlined ways for Boys and Girls Club to bring in more fundraising and more support of resources. And the next campaign is going to talk about a way for the Boys and Girls Club to get a facelift, to improve their facilities and revamp the aesthetics so that they're more attractive to older members, to keep them around and keep reinforcing that member retention. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for coming out here
Really
at
appreciate
almost
y'all
9
listening
o'clock.
to us
It's
at
bedtime.
bedtime.
Is there any questions?
So your focus is basically on support, sponsorships, etc.,
Mhm.
not so much recruitment or retention?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
We believe that that would come following having more resources to offer. So we thought that was a good place to start. There was a lot of things that could be worked on, and we decided to narrow our focus and start at where we think the first step would be.
Doing your research, I'm interested to hear some of those concerns or negative that you may have got from local businesses, because, you know, at the end of the day, you have to be kind of knowing what you're going up against from a perception perspective.
Mhm.
Can you share if you got any negative?
Absolutely.
10%.
What I would call negative would mean it was a weekday afternoon, and
Wasn't
I
personal.
walked in and asking for a manager, and
They didn't wanna give us one.
and that could mean they just didn't want to. Some people just turned me down for some reason, and I would be honest with them, like, hey, like, for a class project, it's for the Boys and Girls Club, so you want to do this for me? And that's part of the negativity, a manager who just may not have wanted to answer me. Or for the big business part I mentioned earlier, the small businesses were a lot more engaging with it. If I went to, say, Belk or Marshall's, I would go in and ask for a manager, and they would give me the same answer. Just, it's got to go through corporate. So I think if you go, small businesses are a lot more transparent in that manner. And the negativity, like the people that didn't know about the Boys and Girls Club, some of those businesses were new to the area, but a lot of them were really positive about it, and it's a really nationally renowned brand. So if they chose to associate with it, they don't see any way that it would harm them necessarily.
So did you find that those that were aware of it had a clue about the programs and stuff that goes on, or does it still fall back into they think it's?
Not exactly. They didn't know specifically what kind of programs they may have been dealing with, just like I didn't whenever I started this class. I didn't know enough. I knew about the Boys and Girls Club and all the good it does, but I didn't know specifically. Like when we toured the facility, I didn't know about, oh, this is like all educational. There's all these computers. Sure, there's a gym going on, but there's also writing classes and art programs, and there's a kitchen in there teaching
So
kids how
cool.
to cook. So that's some things that you can talk to these businesses about and be transparent, like I mentioned earlier, so they know what they're investing in.
You all do not have a formal program like to participate sponsorships, I guess I could say, to a certain
I
extent?
don't know if that's, right now, we're getting ready to start, we do an annual campaign every year. And basically, that's when we go out and ask businesses and individuals to contribute to the club, to help support the organization. And every dollar raised here in Oxford stays with the Oxford Club.
Are they engaged so that they're tiered type approach that maybe makes sense?
In the annual campaign, there are tiers or layers, and basically, when you were talking about the various incentives that you get, we've got it where in the annual campaign, for instance, if you give $2,500, you get 2 tickets to our Dance Like the Stars event. Or $5,000, you get 4 tickets and your name on the banners and on the website and different things like that. So it's all based on the annual campaign level of giving, but I can see tying in for Oxford itself, because it brings in more engagement in the business and small businesses.
Focus and customize it a little bit more from a local
Yeah.
standpoint. We found that to be true with the Main Street organization. I was president of the state organization. And yet with Main Street, there are local, like we have
Yeah.
Debbie Brandsburg and our
Right.
local board. When you go out and ask businesses to contribute at that level overall, they would go, well, that's fine, but we contribute, or we want our money to stay local, or we say, well, yeah, but when you support the state organization, or in y'all's case, the regional, it still will help each club. It's hard to get that
It's hard
across.
to get it, but all of this stays right
That's
here.
why we ended up segmenting our campaign towards Oxford. We didn't want to leave out too the other Mississippi locations, but we figured we couldn't do them all justice since we're local to this space and we know these companies, and I work for this magazine and he works at this restaurant. It's like we just made it local and we made it personal, and we felt that that was the best way to accomplish what our vision is for an organization we really believe in as individuals ourselves.
And I'd say the service industry sector of Oxford was really.
They were very adamant
Excited
about
about it.
supporting.
Yeah, and then that's one of the things, we've got a committee that's putting together a list of names and businesses, whatever, and some of the other board members, part of that annual campaign steering committee, they were looking at it and said, where are the banks and the restaurants and the small businesses
Mhm.
like you're talking about? Those businesses were not on that list. So I'm excited to be able to take this back and say, hey, we've had this group present this, and
they found that there is the focus on the local side a little bit more.
But I love the idea of taking a club member. We found out it's hard to resist one of them telling how much they enjoy the club.
And that
And it-
came from a business owner's mouth.
Yeah, and it
That was
I
totally
I think
her
it just
idea.
it makes it more personable. Like we kind of experienced it ourselves, going to different local establishments with surveys and questions, asking if they could sit down with us, and they're like, man, okay, it's 2:00, it's lunch, like we have stuff to
They
do,
see
and
me
like it's not that we
walking
don't
in
care,
as opposed to,
it's just that
club.
like how can you make me interested? And like I think that you can make them interested by showing them what they gain from that, and showing them that they have not just one avenue of supporting, but a plethora of avenues that they can do to support.
Circles of influence are important. That way you cut through the
Right.
doorkeeper. Okay?
It's all about relationship.
Mhm.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you.